Madam General Evaluator, Madam Toastmaster, my fellow Toastmasters, and most especially John. Boy, did I pick a tall order here to evaluate a speech on evaluation. But on that note, one thing that John and I talk about vociferously at home is that it's not so much what you have to say, but very often how you say that, how you say it. And I want to focus on two kind of components of John's speech that I think he did really well. I want to focus on his performance. I want to focus on his PowerPoint. To talk about the PowerPoint right out of the gate, John's slides were clean. There wasn't a lot of text. The most overarching thing that kind of came to my attention was that John drove the PowerPoint didn't drive him. So he spoke for quite a while, gave us an anecdote, same title slide up. So I wasn't distracted by what the slide had to say, I was focused on John's delivery. He then gave us 4 steps and 7 tips. But I liked the fact that he gave us a step, gave us a little story behind it, but at the same time, all 4 of those steps were coming up one by one. So I didn't lose track of them. They were all there for me to see kind of as John went through these steps of evaluation. And I thought that really supported him, and again, he was driving the PowerPoint, it wasn't driving him. He wasn't reading the slides, he wasn't tied to it. And even more to the point, John was not tied to the PowerPoint because when he got to the end and he had a little technical difficulty, he put it aside and he delivered the rest of his speech, which is something that people who use PowerPoint very often get caught with. They rely on it and the PowerPoint is driving him or them. Last but not least, I want to focus on John's performance. I love watching John speak because of his gestures. And I'm sure you've all noticed it. John uses all sorts of great gestures when he's making his points, and I don't find it distracting. I find it to be very animated and dynamic. John also used a tremendous amount of colorful imagery, especially when he was telling these anecdotes at the beginning and throughout his speech. And the one kind of critical component that I'd ask John to work on is in the beginning when you were telling us that anecdote, your volume was a little bit low. And while I was sitting in the second row, I found that I really had to focus on what you were saying to hear you. But overall, John, what a great speech on giving feedback. And I want the slide deck when you get home because I want to use it in the future. Thank you, John, Madam General Evaluator.